Good morning and welcome YouTube. Let's figure out which is the best LMG in the Warzone and why is it the Bruen or not the Bruen. Let's look at the Bruen MK9 first. So the Bruen MK9 is a very mobile LMG, especially since you can go for the 60 round mag if you want to. I personally prefer it with the 100 round mag, builds later at the end of the video. But the Bruen MK9 has a very nice time to kill. I mean, it's under 559 milliseconds. That's up to most of the ARs, and then the damage fall off is really nicely. I mean, until 100 meters, it's still like a below 650 milliseconds time to kill, and then even if it goes up, it's at 800. That's better than the Grau and any other AR out there on that long range. Apart from the Scar has a 720 on any range, but the Scar sucks anyways. One thing you have to consider about the LMGs is something called open bolt delay. Not everyone has them, some guns have them. Open bolt delay is you press the trigger and the first bullet goes out later. As you can see, if we include the open bolt delay, the time to kill goes tremendously up. Suddenly we're at 601, suddenly we're at 701, suddenly we're at up here with a roughly 901. It's not that much, and it's also not that crazy, because if you're already ADS'd in, if you're already aimed in, if you're shooting first, kinda doesn't matter. It's just something you have to consider. If you point your gun at someone, you pull the trigger, don't expect your first bullet to fly straight away out and hit him. That's not how it works. That's an LMG. We're gonna travel through the whole freaking gun. Takes a little bit. Also, something to consider on the Bruen is obviously a 510 ADS time that we're gonna be comparing to all the others. Yes, you can make it a bit faster, but it will always be around 400 lates and 500s beginnings. The bullet velocity is only 1066. That's something to consider, thinking about that the ARs mostly have 1200 bullet velocity, and this build is already maximum bullet velocity. Now let's look if the other LMGs can compete. Let's look at the PKM compared to the Bruen. So the PKM has a very slight lower time to kill, which is more or less on par with it. The damage fall off starts a little bit earlier, but we're talking about here 5 meter distance. But then the damage fall off goes through, as you can see here, which is very interesting and nice to look at. So there doesn't seem to be this gigantic one. On range, the PKM does actually perform better. The downside of the PKM obviously is there's no 60 round mag, and the whole gun handling wise feels a little bit slower to whoop it out. The good thing is no open bolt delay. So the PKM, actually, you press the bullet and the bullets arrive. There's no traveling through the gun, which is pretty nice. Then on top of that, the PKM can have an extreme lower ADS time because the PKM has something called the snatch grip. It's this sight grip that you whip the gun up with, and it gives you minus 60 ADS frames. Together with a laser, that's minus 120 ADS frames. This is madness. Madness. The bullet velocity is pretty much the same. The vertical recoil control is good, but let's be fair, on the LMGs, the vertical recoil control doesn't really matter. One thing to consider though is this is the 100 mag, both 100 mag reload times. As you can see, it's abysmal on the PKM. So PKM ADS is faster, reloads slower, has lesser damage fall off. So technically, actually, if you compare these two guns, the PKM would be better than the Bruen, with the downside of the long reload time. Then again, 100 round mag means for dead people. Hey Pony, what about the SA87? I tested it and it beats every single LMG. Hell no, it doesn't. I mean, it's definitely not terrible. The standard time to kill is a little bit higher, as you can see, but then the damage fall off goes only up to 0.7, 700 milliseconds, and then it actually goes through. So technically, gun is not even terrible. Problem is, only 60 round mag, only considering that you can run the 100 round mags on the others to just burst out, and the recoil just doesn't feel as stable as the guns Bruen and PKM. Also, no open bolt delay in this regard, so that's a good thing. Open bolt delay obviously making again the Bruen worse. If we're looking at the ADS times, it's in the middle of all of these. The build doesn't have any recoil control because you kind of have to go for the 60 round mag. And then you have 1200 bullet velocity, which is pretty nice, plus a low reload time because of the 60 round mag. All in all, the gun seems statistically up to the task. Practically, if you actually play it, recoil wise, it doesn't feel like it. But the SA87, just mere from looking at the stats, doesn't seem terrible. So what is with the M91? Yeah, I know that terrible gun that you pick off the ground you like the hell with. So the M91 starts with almost 650 millisecond time to kill, so worse than all the others. But then the damage fall off again is not that hard. This is definitely what you see about the Bruen. The Bruen just falls off extremely on the long ranges, even though you kind of want to use it as that extreme long range laser. I mean, the Bruen shreds up close up to 100 meters. It's very, very good. Definitely one of the better ones together with the PKM. But then, as you can see on the M91, the fall off on the 100 meters is actually better than the Bruen, worse than the SA, worse than the PKM, but still decent-ish. Open bolt delay does not make it worse. Open bolt delay makes it slightly worse, but still good. Definitely better long range weapon, mere from a time to kill than the Bruen. Obviously the Bruen profits from being a very stable gun, but if we look at the statistics at this moment with these 4 LMGs on it, the Bruen does not perform as the long range gun. The PKM feels like the absolute runner up here, considering lowest time to kill in the mid ranges, and then together with the Bruen, and then the best time to kill in the long ranges. The hell what? MG34? I've never looked at the gun, and I've actually never looked if it has any viability or does any good. How the recoil is on long range, how does it feel? From a mere statistic standpoint, that gun is insane. The hell? What does the MG34 perform so good? That yelled for a whole new YouTube video just about that gun. We add the open bolt delay, it only gets slightly worse. I mean, it's then at the time to kill pretty much off the normal Bruen, but look at the just 100 meter time to kill, which is absolutely mental. Seems like we need to build an MG34. So if we look at all these guns now in a comparison, we have a way lower bullet velocity. See, that's where I'm feeling it. Long range beaming with this gun is going to be very hard because the bullet velocity of the M91 and MG34 is way lower than the others. That means you click, open bolt delay, and then your bullets also arrive later. The reload time is abysmal. Gets better here on these sides. The ADS speed on the MG34 also as low as the one of the Bruen, but we'll definitely be making just a video about this to see if the gun has any viability, if the time to kill can live up to what it tells us that it could be there. Also, what you can see here from the graph, Bruen best with a VLK optic, PKM best with a Cronin or a sniper scope even on the long range, SA87 plus M91 kind of VLK optic most likely too, and then we have the MG34, and I would say the MG34 could also use a Cronin very good if you want to minimize the ADS speed a little bit. Obviously a VLK, but that's only 20 milliseconds, so that shouldn't be it. Damn, this comparison, it's pretty juicy. Let's look at some builds. Let's start with the Bruen. The Bruen has multiple versions to actually build it, and some are faster ADS, some are slow ADS. On some it doesn't matter. My favorite one is the current here with the Cronin Pro Optic Tag Laser Summit Monolithic Suppressor and Commando foregrip. You can also remove the Commando foregrip and you can actually add a skeleton's close, and you can actually add a close quarter combat stock, which gives a bonus ADS speed with no downside. Yes, the only downside is aiming stability. That means when you're aimed in, you have idle sway. Congratulations, idle sway while you're blasting people away. Why is this my favorite one? Because it has 100 round mag. 100 round mag means 4 dead people. Yes, with a 60 round mag you reload faster, but I pretty much reload after a whole complete fight. You can just put off the close quarter combat stock and you can put off a 60 round mag if you really want that. Foregrip is absolutely not needed. The gun is stable as hell. Then let's look at our next runner-up. As I said, Cronin Optic should be the best on the PKM due to the immense range that the gun packs. You have Monolithic Suppressor, Extended Barrel. Technically, you can go for a heavy barrel because the heavy barrel has more range, but lesser bullet velocity. And I think bullet velocity is more important on that one, plus a little bit bonus recoil control. The Snatch Grip is this one insane grip, which gives you absolute insane bonus recoil control, but at the same time aim down side speed. And yes, you have the tag laser to just get faster in ADS wise. If you don't like the laser beam, yes, you can also use a close quarter combat stock to just get faster in again. Then you don't have that laser beam. And then we have the M91 with the Monolithic Suppressor, Heavy Barrel, Tag Laser, Cronin Optic also range-wise. Again, the Cronin Optic should fit there. If you don't feel like you can handle that, put the VLK Optic on. And you have the Striker stock. Again, only downside would be the aiming stability there. If you feel like you can't control the recoil, obviously Striker stock for probably a operator slash commander forward, whatever you feel like there. But keep in mind that these scripts also add an insane amount of ADS frames. It's like 30 up to 50, depending on which one you choose. But the MJ33 being insane. The only downside on that gun is you need to put a 100 round belt mag on, so you're gonna get shitty ADS frames. If the monolithic suppressor, the lead barrel, the tag laser, and the VLK optic, you don't want to go for the Cronin in this case, because really the VLK optic gives you 20 ms minus frames, whereas like you really need the 100 round mag because you can't play this with 50 rounds. 50 rounds just feels absolutely abysmal. You want to have the 100 round mag on that gun, and then you're gonna go off. That would be the MJ33. We're gonna be testing more and more on stream to see if it really lives up to the crazy time to kill. Say 87, which technically could be a good gun. Practically, it's kind of in the middle of everything. Doesn't do perfect, doesn't do good. Feels like, you know, almost an all-arounder. We're definitely gonna give it a roll and be like, can this perform well, and see if it's worth a whole YouTube video. Monolithic suppressor, factory barrel, tech laser, VLK, and the 60 round mag. Factory barrel obviously for maximum bullet velocity and maximum range in that regard. The VLK optic to not botch the ADS speed, because the SA87 actually has a really nice ADS speed, but it also didn't have that crazy range like the PKM has to profit from the Cronin lead. That was our LMG comparison video. Keep in mind, obviously, this doesn't put into consideration the overall recoil. How's the gun handling? How does the gun feel? How's the vertical climb and so on? This is a mere time to kill comparison to ADS speed, to bullet velocity and everything, to just feel like if statistically the gun could actually perform really well, then we're going into the Warzone to test the guns to see if they're nice. Can they actually do what they do? I know the PKM is insane. I know the Bruen is insane, but how are the others that are statistically proven crazy guns? The MG34 is going to get some testing. The SA87 is some. For the others, I don't see a hope there. The MG91 just doesn't do anything anyway good. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. To check out the AR comparison video to the SMG comparison video on top of that. I'm not sure if we're going to do a sniper one because, well, the snipers are HDR shoots straight. AX50 shoots not so straight, but packs more punch technically. They all do a one-shot headshot. You know how it is. Thank you for watching. Thanks for enjoying this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to click the bell. If you liked it, drop a comment here. If you want to see more videos like that, please give some encouraging words. Also, check out our potential podcast to come soon to be if you want to sign up for that. First episode is going to be about the 0 viewer count problematic, where we're going to be talking with new streamers and how it hits them hard or not. Have a wonderful good day, and see you soon in the Warzone.